Steve, just going to run through which a rubbish 2020, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, listen, 2020 was bad for everyone, and we're in 2021. Happy New Year to everybody. And the news yesterday from the Boxing Board of Control that the shows in January have all stopped kind of took a bit of buoyancy out of us, because you know, we knew ourselves a few things that were happening in February on the TV shows. Hopefully they'll still go ahead, but it just knocks a bit of the wind out of yourselves, because, you know, I mean, I'm planning to get going again in April, which will be 12 months since our last one in March.
13 months.
Yeah, so it's disappointing, but let's hope with this vaccine that we can start getting back to normal soon.
Well, let's go back there. Let's go back to our first show of 2020, which was February in Hull. Good little show over there. Nothing major on there. Was going to be a central area title fight, but it was a good little show. Got a few lads out in Hull, didn't it? And then we had a cracking show in Liverpool on March the 14th, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. You know, I say the one in Hull was okay. I mean, Zeeshan Khan pulled out last minute and dropped us in the shit over there, but, you know, we carried on. We kept Brian Phillips on, and he was in a half decent fight with Ricky Starkey, and then all the other kids boxed really well, didn't they? And there was a good crowd there, so
good
the first
venue,
one
in
February was decent to start off with, and we had, like, I think about 11 kids out in March. In Liverpool,
the top of the bill,
and the top of the bill was a great fight. Unfortunately, our lad got beat, but, you know, once you start getting into these central areas, it means a lot to both the kids. And you know, fair play to Damien Chambers. He got up off the floor when he was badly hurt, and beat Jay Farrell, didn't he? But, you know, Jay Farrell was so close to being area champion that day, you know, but that's boxing, as they say, isn't it? But it was, yeah, it was good. And then we could talk about a few kids we managed to get on the TV
but that was
shows.
It. COVID then, wasn't it? COVID came. All our shows that we had arranged all stopped, and we weren't sure when we was going to get anyone out. But then Eddie put the behind closed doors shows on, and we had a few lads on there. Mixed results, but it was good, wasn't it? But Nathan Bennett, I think, kicked us off, didn't he? Yeah,
Nathan Bennett was the first lad we had out, and that was when Eddie did it in his backyard, wasn't he? You know, and he unfortunately suffered a broken jaw in the first round, and then I think he was stopped in the 5th round. But, you know, he was against a good kid. It was a big step up for him, but you know, it wasn't a fight that he was certain to lose. You know what I mean? He went in, made a good account for him, and you know, it wasn't for the broken jaw, I'm sure he'd have been back on another show, because Eddie said that he enjoyed the way he performed and conducted himself within the bubble. So yeah, nothing lost from Nathan apart from a loss, really. Yeah.
Going out of sync a little bit, I think Aqib Fiaz should have fought in the next show, but was it? I can't remember. It fell through, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was rearranged for later on in the year.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was against Kane Baker.
Kane Baker, yeah.
Great fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And like the first one, with Aqib getting ill 24 hours before the fight, he left a bit of a sour taste in Kane's mind.
But they all said he bottled it, didn't they?
Yeah. So as soon as he was fit and healthy, he went back and put on a boxing display. It wasn't your normal come forward attacking Aqib Fiaz that we used to see. He went out and used his boxing skills and got a comfortable win and looked good doing it. Yeah.
He did. And like you say, that win I think was made even better because I think 2 weeks later Kane Baker returned on the shows and beat hot prospect in Meshach Spears, didn't he?
He did. I mean, again, someone took a chance in that, didn't he? He's not perfect taking, I think, a fight on 4 days' notice when he's probably not done any sparring and not been training properly in the gym.
No, but I'm saying it
to fight above his normal weight. But fair play to Kane Baker, you know what I mean? He'd half retired after his fight to Aqib, and he's come back and had a win on Sky, and everyone must have been pleased for him, because the interview afterwards, you couldn't help but feel happy for him.
Yeah. Then we had Jack Cullen in his second outing of the year, because he'd fought on the week before us on March the 7th. He'd returned to the MEN where he got a second round stoppage over a tough Argentinian kid.
Yeah.
And then he fought Zach Telly, and I think the commentating was a little bit biased, because I thought a draw was a fair result.
I actually had Jack winning.
Well, I wouldn't have argued
I was
either
a
way.
bit biased, you know. A point either way, you couldn't have argued. But going back to Cullen, you know, 3 fights in 2020, probably the most active fighter in Britain, wasn't he? You know, and
active prospect for certain.
Yeah, and you know. None of them were easy fights. He had a win, a draw, and then he went in the away corner, didn't he, against the Doc, as he called him, who was the big up and coming star, and turned him over. And apart from going over in the first round, it was a comfortable win for him. Yeah.
I think maybe if he would have gone at it a little bit more in that 8th round, like you said, maybe he would have got the stoppage himself.
Yeah, I think he stopped going to the body, didn't he, a little bit. But listen, you can't take it away from him. He's gone in the away corner and upset one of their
hot prospects,
superstars, as they called him, and the way he acted in the build up to it. He just thought he was going to walk through Jack Cullen. What made him think that, I'll never know. So I'm just waiting for the call off Eddie to tell me when we go again this year with Jack.
That'll be brilliant. And then we had a couple of lads, not on they were on TV shows, but not on the big TV shows. We had Jake Barton with a fantastic win. Where was it? Was it in?
That was in Liverpool. That in there was a Clifton Mitchell show.
I think it was, or something.
Yeah, and the Clifton Mitchell show. So he's gone, and you know, Jake's I think was 3-0.
4-0 he was.
And he's fought a kid who was 7-0, and. Probably not many people have seen this, have they? Because it wasn't on a big sort of show. It was a stream show.
Yeah, live stream or something.
Yeah, but he got a cracking knockout. You know,
Beautiful,
I mean, that had been up there with the knockouts of the year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Like Zelfa's, who we're going to talk about now, because Zelfa was on one of the matchroom behind the closed door shows, wasn't he? Where he fought the Irish kid Eric Donovan.
Yeah, and I mean, just going back onto Jake's, that was like a counter left hook, and very similar to Zelfa's, wasn't it? You know, I think Zelfa put him over a couple of times, didn't he? With the same shot, but no. And fair play to the other kid. He's probably edging it against Zelfa at the time, and
he was definitely.
He's a good kid, and he's come back and had a win there. So I don't think Zelfa got the credit he deserved for coming back from behind, putting it on him and getting the stoppage. It was a good fight for Zelfa. That,
as you said, could be knockout of the year, that one. And then we had, let's see, we've got down here Mickey Ellison coming unstuck for the Irish kid, Patrick McCrory, is it?
Listen, he just got caught early and didn't recover, did it? You know, if it wouldn't have been the case, never know, he might have gone on to win it, but an emphatic loss really, or an emphatic win for the other guy. Caught him cold and finished him,
yeah, he got caught high on the head, didn't he? And then he never really covered for it, and the kid jumped on him and finished him well, but he'll be back. Right. Then we had Sean Kearns. He was out.
Again, that was another opportunity come last minute where
English title. I didn't even know that come right out of the blue.
Yeah. Mark Leach vacated it, and he got a chance to fight for it. As I say, late notice on there, but you know, it was a fight we actually quite strongly fancied him against. A young kid, we thought he'd be experienced and too strong for him, but the other kid boxed superbly and never tired like we thought he might do, and the credit's got to go to that lad. Never made that weight before, and he looks like a serious prospect.
Yeah, he does. And now the kid you just mentioned then, Mark Leach, fantastic win against Kesh Esfat. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, he's a bantamweight, wasn't he? And he was down to fight that Farouk Ashfaq, and that kind of fell through, and they offered us to go up to super bantamweight, and obviously he's been in the gym training, and you ain't going to turn it down. That was eliminated for the British. Won it easy. I mean, there's talk about winner stays on down there, weren't they? But you know, that winner didn't stay on. That Ashfaq's been out and had another easy fight and brought back with a win. But we're just waiting, hopefully, on the boxing board of control a week on Wednesday, next board meeting, to mandate Mark for the British title.
Would that be against Brad Foster? Is it?
Brad Foster's a champion. Yeah.
And then Zelfa's stablemate, Lyndon Arthur. Well, 2 fantastic performances. First one, where he retained his title against Dex Bellman, but then the big one, him and Anthony Hardy.
Yeah, well, Lyndon was another lucky one, wasn't he? Getting out a couple of times in the lockdown, yeah. So I think he used the Spellman fight as a way of how he was going to beat Yardy, just by jabbing and moving, and that's all he had to do, and thankfully it's all he had to do, because he had an injured hand. So in effect, he's gone and beat the red hot favourite with one arm, and I think he's had a little operation on it now, and he's due to be out probably in the next couple of months' time. But no, fantastic win by Lyndon, and you know, there was a few upsets, wasn't there, in the lockdown shows of 2020.
That was probably one of the biggest ones there, wasn't it? You know, not many people outside of Manchester gave Lyndon a chance, did they?
No, a lot of people backed him, including myself here. But you know, everyone else didn't give him a cat and hell's chance, does he? But he proved them all wrong, and hopefully now that'll boost his confidence, and he'll go on to perform better, and eventually get a world title himself, which hopefully he can win.
Do you think that'll happen in 2021?
The way things are happening now and opening up, it wouldn't surprise me. I'd probably like him to have a couple more learning fights, because they're all top lads, aren't they? The light heavyweights. But it's like when opportunities come knocking, it's sometimes difficult to turn them down.
Yeah. What have you got lined up for? I know there's a few things you can't talk about, but you have got a few things in the pipeline for 2021, haven't you?
Well, as VIP itself, we've got venues held for April, hoping we can come back then. But as I said at the start of this interview, the board news yesterday was a bit disheartening, and makes you wonder. But we're going to still plan for that. As I say, if the vaccines can get rolled out a bit earlier than what they're saying, I'm sure we can do them in April, if not May. And we've signed a lot of young kids who are fed up of the amateur game and really keen to start going again. So we'll be getting on with that. And then obviously it's not for me to announce, but there's a big fight with Josh booked for February. I think Eddie's just waiting now for the nod off the board that everything's going to be okay, and you know, Josh is on that show. Reece Small for an English title, Zelfa Barrett defending his Commonwealth, so that'll be a
big fight for Manchester fans.
A cracking start for the year for us, that, and then hopefully get some of the other kids out as well. But nothing confirmed in stone yet.
Everyone always asking me, is there any news on Scott Fitzgerald?
Yeah, Scott's fine. You know. He's back in the gym, he's training, a little bit chunky, but the weight is coming off, and we're waiting for the date for him end of February, and then we've got a little road trip for him the end of March as well, which we'll be able to announce soon. Yeah.
Right. So.
And on the road trip will be Masha. We forgot about Masha. Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah. So the boys are going away for you.
Right. So exciting times for the VIP boys then.
Yeah, it is, and thanks everyone for the support in 2020, and hopefully we can do better in 2021.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers.
Take care, mate. Bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.